A young republic stirs rich in promise, trembling beneath hidden divides. Industry hums in northern cities, freedom and greed walk side by side. In the south, wealth grows from pain, and faith justifies its chains. A sacred document now trembles, stretched thin between two moral worlds. Lines drawn for peace become the borders of future graves. Compromise echoes hollow in halls already shaking with fury. Northern hearts ignite, their ink and courage louder than cannon fire. Pride blinds the South. They drink to honor built upon illusion. Her pen bleeds truth. A novel shakes the conscience of a nation. Bleeding Kansas burns. The first war begins without a declaration. Newspapers become battlefields, words striking harder than muskets. Freedom is hunted at night, law serving cruelty instead of justice. A quiet lawyer foresees the storm, warning a house divided cannot stand. Faith turns to fire. One man believes blood must cleanse a guilty land. His rebellion fails, but his gallows words echo louder than bullets. Two economies, two souls, one nation bound by thread and tension. Whispers of secession creep through parlor rooms and prayer halls alike. Words become weapons. Each argument widens the fracture of a fragile union. Storm clouds gather not from weather but from the hearts of men. A nation still whole, but already breaking within its own reflection. They called it liberty's land, yet its heart beat in contradiction. Words of freedom penned by hands that owned the enslaved. Prosperity sparkles in chandeliers, fed by human suffering unseen. For million souls toil beneath the whip, building America's fortune. The North profits too, silent partners in the business of bondage. Insurance for flesh and blood, liberty reduced to cold arithmetic. They preach God's word, yet used it to bless the whip and chain. Songs cradle innocence, sung by voices long denied their own freedom. Families broken for profit, humanity traded for silver and silence. Eyes fixed on stars that whisper roots toward a fragile freedom. Through shadows she moves, pistol in hand, heart full of courage. The road unseen, paved by hope, carried hundreds into the light. The law declares, no black man has rights the white must respect. Outrage spreads like wildfire, freedom mocked in marble halls. What is your freedom to the slave? He asks, thunder in his voice. A pact with the devil, he cries, as flames consume the nation's myth. Even faith fractures, North prays for change, South for defiance. The daughters of judges rise to condemn their father's sins. Freedom's monument casts a shadow shaped like a noose. The lie unravels, words can no longer bind a nation breaking. Words once built this union, now they echo hollow through deserted halls. Every debate turns to fury, Every speech draws blood from pride. Democracy becomes dual. Compromise dies in the smoke of Kansas. Let the people choose, he said, forgetting people choose with fear. What began as policy ends in neighbors killing neighbors for belief. He calls the South a harlot, truth too sharp for fragile egos. Honor turns to violence, words meet wood on the Senate floor. The cane breaks, the nation breaks, civility dies beneath applause. Violence rewarded, the echo becomes anthem for coming war. Old alliances crumble, a new party forms against the spread of chains. The gavel falls, justice bends, the Constitution bleeds its own ideals. The verdict shatters hope, freedom now defined by skin, not soul. A house divided cannot stand, he warns, few dare to listen. Faith becomes fire, a man of conviction marches toward destiny. Dreams of justice drown beneath the thunder of federal muskets. His death plants seeds, martyrs bloom where reason once stood. The ballot becomes bully, the nation votes itself into fracture. One by one they leave the Union, calling slavery their sacred right. He vows to preserve the Union, history answers with gunfire. In Charleston Harbor, silence trembles before the world catches fire. April 12, 1861, the harbor stills, history holds its breath. Young men ready their guns, believing honor will cleanse rebellion. Major Anderson watches the horizon, knowing peace cannot last. At 4:30 a.m., the first shot shatters 80 years of fragile Union. Iron speaks where reason failed, the nation's soul ignites in flame. They fight not for victory, but for the meaning of a country. Each blast feels righteous, each echo digs the divide deeper. Stars and stripes burn but refuse to fall before surrender. After 34 hours, the guns rest, and the war begins. Fort Sumter falls, unity dies, drums of vengeance begin to beat. He calls for 75,000 men to preserve the Union. Boys cheer for glory, not knowing the price waiting beyond dawn. Mothers whisper prayers over cloth soon to be stained red. Two nations now breathe the same air, but dream different destinies. He hopes for reunion, yet feels the weight of generations collapsing. Communities fracture, brother turns from brother, faith from reason. Letters of promise hide trembling hands that may never return. July 21st, the curious gather to watch war like a festival. Reality arrives in thunder, laughter turns to screams and chaos. The picnic ends in panic, innocence dies upon Virginia soil. April 6, 1862, Shiloh wakes beneath the fog heavy with fate. They dream of home, unaware death marches through the morning mist. Jonathan's men move silent, ghosts stalking the sleeping enemy. A single crack splits heaven, the quiet morning dies in smoke. Dreams collapse into screams, the war has found their doorstep. Grant's orders cut through fear hold the line until reinforcements come. Earth itself seems to bleed, heaven deaf to the cries below. Gray waves crash through timber, shouting faith, courage, and despair. Every explosion writes another line in the gospel of ruin. He counts the dead by heartbeat, not by orders or glory. A single bullet ends a general, the South loses its brightest flame. He bleeds into Tennessee soil, joining the land he fought to hold. The wounded beg for water, even rivers run red with grief. Bravery blurs with madness, both vanish in the thunder of guns. The field glows with ghostly light, agony whispers where hymns once rose. He murmurs, "We'll fight tomorrow," as if dawn could cleanse the dead. Hope returns with smoke and steel, the North refuses to yield. 20,000 silent bodies, one nation's first true reckoning. She prays not for victory, but for mercy upon the living. Shiloh fades into memory, America wakes reborn, blood as its baptism,